doesn't satisfy the following fundamentals of evidence-based medicine.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can I start, Yashika?
Yes, sir. Your screen is clear. You can start.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Panda, Dr. Manish, Yashika, and all others who have cared to join today. Our topic for today is the homeopathy in COVID-19, the chaos, and the way ahead with the Organon perspective. I am also the Dean of the Faculty of Homeopathy at the DY Vidyapeeth in Pimpri, Pune. Now, today's topic was selected basically because everybody is talking today so much about the COVID-19. What is this COVID? Everybody knows by now that it's a pandemic and it is globally, it has hurt us very badly, humans. Our day-to-day life has got disturbed. Our education is disturbed. Our economics, finances, everything has got disturbed. So this is a crisis not only for, not in one sphere, but it is everywhere, economically also. We are seeing many videos nowadays on the internet which say that, whatever this pandemic has brought negativity, it has also brought some positivity. And so we see a lot of pictures which say that, because now people are not venturing out of their homes, it has healed nature. So you see people, you see animals coming onto the streets and all these things. So there is always a flip side about it, which is that this pandemic has surely helped us to understand the power of the nature. And also, what does this pandemic actually mean for the homeopathic world? This is the question today. For the homeopathic world, it depends highly on the homeopaths, what they make out of this pandemic. As it is, we are all having a human nature, and homeopathy, as everybody knows, is most used medicine in India. Institutionally also, it is the most preferred choice only in India compared to the rest of the world. So we can call ourselves easily as the world leaders in homeopathy. And that is why it makes all the more difference to Indians and homeopaths in specific. Now, very important thing is what this COVID taught us is where are we heading with this COVID? You are all seeing that we are going into two different directions. One direction is there are so many tall claims going on in the market. Our WhatsApp is flooded with homeopathy, and so many baseless claims are there. And the other way is a way which we want to go, which we need to go, is the way of the scientific research. So these are two different directions, absolutely two different directions. Right now, our WhatsApp is being flooded. Somebody says, use this medicine. Somebody says, use that medicine. And we all are very, very confused as to what is the actual way ahead. We are coming across a plethora of posts about some homeopathic medicines as prophylactic against COVID-19. Across the social media platforms, we all are seeing YouTubes, Facebooks, Instagrams, WhatsApp, Telegram, and many news channels also who are conducting interviews of different homeopaths, of lay people, of industrialists. All these people are ready to talk about the COVID-19 and homeopathy. So we are all now bombarded with this information. This bombardment in our heads has created what we call now as the chaos. So it's an absolutely chaotic situation. Nobody is able to understand which is right and which is wrong. Often we are getting a lot of messages from the patients themselves. Patients themselves are very confused whether we should take arsenic, whether we should take camphor, whether we should say X, we should use Y. So all these situations have come up now. Homeopathy in that sense has garnered enormous public attention and publicity. Till now, we homeopaths were vying for attention. We wanted to make our mark, somewhere in the medical scenario, because what we were seeing is that only 2% or 5% of the people in India usually take homeopathic medicine. And now suddenly you have your friends who never even bothered whether you were a homeopathic doctor, and suddenly they are asking you that which is the right medicine and what should I do and how I should boost my immunity. This might seem very satisfying and appealing to some minds in the homeopathic fraternity, but there is always another side to this coin. The other side isn't very fascinating, and hence subconsciously we are being overlooked by many of us today. On the flip side, there are so many issues that are staring at us, warranting immediate attention. First of all, we need to know where are we standing. Second, we need to know, are we even standing? If not, if we are not standing, then why are we not standing? Are we seeing the reality? Are we seeking for the truth? Are we happy basking in the illusion of our glory? Now that everybody is talking about homeopathy, we feel so glorified that we are a homeopathic doctor suddenly. And are we too deluded to see that the scientific community is coming for us? Do you think it is just a matter of time when everybody is going to start questioning everything about homeopathy? And they would begin from, how does it work? Secondly, they will ask you, does it work? We are all talking about our clinical trials and our medicines which we have given to the patients, and that it is going to immune boost everybody. But actually, these are the questions now which the world is going to ask us, and we need to answer these very questions. For those who may not find flip side convincing, let's examine certain facts. So I have 4 or 5 facts to you. The first fact is, many stalwarts and schools of thoughts are proposing their theories. Mind you, not a single homeopathic college has floated any theory. We have 250 homeopathic colleges in the country, but nobody has come out with any different genus epidemicus or different medicine. So these are usually given to you by many stalwarts and different schools of thoughts who are proposing different theories about what is COVID, how homeopathy can be effective. Many also claim of various remedies to be effective. Many have claimed that they have cured patients internationally. In India, still nobody has got the permission to treat exclusively COVID patients with homeopathy. Nobody has got that permission from ICMR yet. The claims go by different words. We hear these different words nowadays. So we hear that there is a preventive in COVID. So homeopathy is having a preventive in COVID. We have the word curative now used in COVID. We have the word used as immune boosters, etc. So many of these words, the list of these kind of medicines for these conditions is extensive. These are a few of the medicines I just garnered from different sources, and these are all given by different homeopaths. So some homeopath says Justitia Adatota 3x. Someone says CCRH is saying the Arsenicum album 30. Somebody says Camphor 1M, Camphor 10M. Somebody says Influenzinum 200 or 1M. Somebody says Gelsemium, Bryonia, Eupatorium, Squilla. Somebody says Thymolin. Somebody says Thuja 30. Angiocratagus, Captopril, China Moor, Grindelia, Camphor. And even one homeopath has suggested to spray Sepia 200 as a spray to be used, and so on and so forth. We are receiving this information about these interventions through various social media platforms. We are not getting any news. Very rarely you are getting the news on the TV channel. You are getting it mostly on your WhatsApp or your Instagram or your YouTube and all this thing. So are we taking such information? Yes, we are taking in such information. And we are also circulating it on non-scientific platforms. So every person in India, as of today, is an expert in all matters about COVID. And because he is now educated in the WhatsApp University, he is also now an expert in homeopathy. And they are confidently circulating it ahead and possibly believing it on face value. Why aren't we questioning and exploring its rationale, scientificity, the very tenets of evidence-based medicine? This is what the ICMR is asking. They are asking for evidence-based medicine. Hahnemann may haven't known the word evidence-based medicine in his days, but that's what he believed, and he practiced every moment, as it is evident from his works. A testimony to this is, one must remember and realize the importance of Dr. Hahnemann's statement from the 3rd volume of the Materia Medica Pura, nota bene for my reviewers. Dr. Hahnemann had said that the doctrine appeals not only chiefly, but solely to the verdict of experience. Repeat the experiments, it cries aloud. Repeat them carefully and accurately, and you will find the doctrine confirmed at every step. At it does what does no medical doctrine, no system of physics, no so-called therapeutics ever did. It insists upon being judged by results. This is what Dr. Hahnemann has written long time back. Isn't this statement is what we should choose to personify and follow to the core in today's world of evidence-based medicines? Are we actually doing this? Not really. So we come to fact 2. Once more, through the WHO guidelines, our Prime Minister's speeches, judgments of law pertaining to the COVID-19 and homeopathy, they say, what did the Prime Minister say? He said, we will go the scientific way. When there is mention of the following Ayush guidelines, it is looked down from the view of guidelines of Ayurveda with hardly or no mention of homeopathy. This, we are all witness to this, that hardly anything is talked about homeopathy other than the CCRH directive that we should use Arsenicum album as a preventive in the case of COVID-19. Here are some bits to prove how homeopathy isn't just existent at all at these crucial levels. You see these different, I have collected these different news items from various sources. You see there was the Supreme Court dismisses a plea seeking exploration of homeopathic medicines for COVID-19. It said, the Supreme Court itself said that corona is a new virus. We can't experiment around. Let the experts come up with a vaccine. Everybody needs to wait. That means nobody wants you to use homeopathy exclusively on COVID-19 patients. The Deccan Herald said that the homeopathic drug Arsenicum album 30 can't prevent coronavirus infection as claimed by the Ayush Ministry. Only modern medicines permitted for the treatment of COVID-19 patients, the Kerala government tells the High Court. The court was hearing a petition seeking the directions for the implementation of the Ayush notification and to permit homeopathy to treat the COVID-19 patients. Another, the print says, the print goes 2 steps ahead and says, forget coronavirus, homeopathy can't cure anything. It's a placebo at the best. Homeopathy may be very popular in India, but global experts dismiss its efficacy. This was said by the print. So, all in all, we see that as many number of people are talking about in favor of homeopathy, also there are many critics who have come up. And what are they criticizing? They are not criticizing whether we can do in the COVID or not. They are many of them are criticizing the very tenets of homeopathy. This is something which is very serious, and this is something which we all as a homeopathic community need to look into. Do we have scientific answers to this? This was a question asked by one Council of Homeopathic System of Medicine in Punjab. This was in reference to the subject cited above, notice against misleading COVID-19 advertisement of fake claims of cure by homeopathy in violation of the order of the Ministry of Ayush. Somebody had suggested in Pune and Goa to give camphor, and this particular case was filed this clarification was asked from the Council of Homeopathic Medicine. Coming to fact 3, on the same social platform, students are questioning the rationality of the various hypotheses proposed by the homeopathy for the COVID-19. Now, many of my students also say, sir, what is this? Whom to believe? Should we spray sepia in our backyard? Should we spray sepia on our toe? Should we take camphor? Should we take this? Should we take that? So, sir, please tell us what is right. And then eventually we have to tell them that there is something called as a Central Council of Research in Homeopathy, which has worked some reasoning for giving the Arsenicum album 30 as a preventive. And so in the times of an epidemic, you always follow the government guidelines, and the government guidelines clearly say Arsenicum album 30 to be used as a prophylactic. We ourselves as a college, we have distributed Arsenicum album to more than 5,000 policemen in the area of Pimpri-Chinchwad. We also have distributed Arsenicum album to many people. We have received some notification from the Central Council of Homeopathy also that if we are prepared to distribute it to more people, and we have said that yes, we are ready, and all colleges in India have said that yes, they are ready to do this thing, because we need to prepare a database for our validity. Whatever we say, we need a database for that. So are we answering these things when people are asking these questions? Are we actually answering them scientifically or unbiasedly? Or have we become too prejudiced by our religious beliefs on various schools of thoughts in homeopathy? These are the questions coming to everybody's mind now. Fact 4. Dr. Hahnemann gives clear indications of arriving at a genus epidemicus. How many of the current interventions proposed have followed all the guidelines of the organon? Very few of them have followed the guidelines of the organon. So are we in a rational position to propagate that we have a genus epidemicus for COVID-19? And if one claims homeopathy to be boosting the immunity, we need to actually understand whether whether we can actually boost our immunity. Have we got clinical trial data of in vitro experiments, in vivo experiments demonstrating how the homeopathic medicines act upon the immunological defenses at the cellular and enzymatic level? And do you think that these experiments can be done by homeopathic doctors? Homeopathic doctors are not qualified to conduct scientific research into the biological and cellular activity of homeopathic medicines. For that, we need scientific community to come ahead, and unless the scientific community comes ahead, or unless the central government ropes in the scientific bodies to prove or to disprove these theories, we will be where we are. We will be propagating theory and propagating less of practicality. Hence, these questions have become extremely important and relevant. If we do not address them, the chaos which is there now and the eventual downfall is inevitable. So it's high time that we need to question all these things, and we need to see that it fits into a proper format which is acceptable by the world community. A scientific approach to homeopathy and COVID-19, homeopathic then and now, evidence-based medicine, and the future ahead. What is homeopathy? As all of us know, it was discovered by a German physician, Dr. Christian Friedrich Samuel Hahnemann, in the 18th century. It is a therapeutic system of medicine premised on the principle similia similibus curenter, or let's likes be treated by likes, based on the cardinal principles and the modus operandi elaborated by Dr. Hahnemann in his time in his various literary works. These are some things which we all homeopaths are familiar with. Dr. Hahnemann did a Herculean task. He was doing the best possible research and experimentation in his time, although he had limited tools with him, but yet he did the best possible research, generating various principles, reinventing them as the knowledge in his times evolved. That is why we have so many editions of the Organon of Medicine. Had Hahnemann stuck to what he said in the first edition, he would not have written these further editions of Organon. Had Hahnemann be alive today, many more editions of the Organon would have evolved. He did establish that homeopathy, out of various illnesses, it certainly does work in various epidemics too. So we have a rational foundation behind us given by Dr. Hahnemann, and we know that homeopathy is definitely working in all sorts of epidemics. Various stalwarts like Dr. Kent, Dr. Robert, Dr. Close, Dr. Clark, Dr. Boninghausen, and even modern stalwarts took his principles forward to understand and explain them in their own perspective. We all have read these works. We all are very well aware of the works. These contributions of all these stalwarts in terms of understanding the principles and clinical experiences which started 200 years ago continue till today. They have led to a generation of many theories and hypotheses, but none are in a position to give a strong working hypothesis which lies at the foundation of evidence-based medicine. We have come a long way from the old days now, and now what we need is evidence-based medicine. This is the working hypothesis. What is evidence-based medicine? We need to know what is evidence-based medicine. So a working hypothesis has testability, that is using the extensive scientific tools, simplicity, that is avoiding excessive entities. It should have a broad scope, application to multiple cases. So everything should be applied to multiple cases. You cannot say that I have seen 10 patients, and I have given it to 20 patients, and I have given it to 100 patients. It should be multiple cases. The more, the better. There should be fruitfulness. It should help in explaining the further phenomena in the future. So it has to have a very rational base. Conservatism. It is fitting with existing recognized knowledge of system. You cannot talk about spirituality. Here you cannot talk about spirituality. The ICMR will throw you out of the window. So it has to be evidence-based medicine. So we need to move away from these different terms. A working hypothesis required for evidence-based medicine. No intervention is and should be considered if it doesn't satisfy the following fundamentals of evidence-based medicine. So this is what evidence, this is how you would reach evidence-based medicine. Unless you have all these tools with you, unless it fulfills all these criteria, you cannot enter into the realm of evidence-based medicine. What is evidence-based medicine? It begins from the background information, the expert opinion, which lies at the base, which we all have. We still are at the level of that, background information, expert opinion. Everybody is saying something about homeopathy. Just give me a minute just to have a glass of water. Sorry, thank you. Then after that, you have the case control studies, the case series and the reports, which should be followed by cohort studies. So you have an expert opinion at the base, then you have case control studies, case series, many case series, reports. Then you should be able to have cohort studies. You should be able to conduct randomized controlled trials, which are RCTs. You should be critically appraised individual and articles. The next level would be to have critically appraised individual articles, which are article synopsis. Then you should have critically appraised topics, evidence synthesis and guidelines. And lastly, you have to come to the level of having systematic reviews. Unless we go to all these levels, right from background information, case control studies, cohort studies, randomized control trials, critically appraised individual articles, critically appraised topics, and systematic reviews, a little bit of unfiltered information, and the above three are the filtered information. Unless this pyramid is complete, you cannot enter into the field of evidence-based medicine. And if we all think that whatever reports we are getting from the media, from the WhatsApp, how many of these reports are fulfilling all these criteria? Maybe the nearest to all these criteria is what the CCRH has worked on. Nobody else is giving any explanation for any work done. You would not see this. You would not see all these points covered in any of the articles which are published by the people. They are just saying that this medicine works in this. I have tried it on this medicine. No, evidence-based medicine is different, and it needs to cover all these aspects. Think rationally and apply this pyramid to all those WhatsApp, YouTube informations, or even information from various regulatory bodies in homeopathy. Apply this pyramid in general for all homeopathic interventions. Have covered all the bases. Has anybody covered all the bases? Expert opinions, case control studies, cohort studies, RCTs, article synopsis, evidence synthesis, and systematic reviews? Hardly any covering all these fields. And that is why this big question mark comes from the ICMR and from the government, that why they are not allowing homeopathy to treat purely COVID-19 patients. Many people are asking that you please allow us to treat homeopathy, treat these patients. You give the allopathic medication, along with that you allow homeopathic medicine. But what are we going to get the result with that? Are people going to believe that homeopathy has really helped? Just not possible unless you have a double-blind trial. And that in a double-blind trial, the question of bioethics is going to rise, where it is not ethically right to treat patients with homeopathic medicine unless you have a proven data with you in advance. It cannot be tried. You would not want your relative to be a guinea pig and tried homeopathy when other medicine is available. And if other medicine is available and you are giving the other medicine, also complementary other medicine is going on, and you are adding homeopathic to it, it is not going to prove anything. Nobody is going to give us any credit for this kind of work. We are probably at the first base. Like we are all getting, what we are getting on our WhatsApp is expert opinions and background information. So we are still here. We still have a lot of way to travel. Now question yourself, is it right to have the futile talks amongst us as to how amazing and how right we are for the COVID-19? And delude yourself that we are all knowledgeable, we are all prepared. It's just that we are getting a chance. We are not getting a chance. Is it right? It's not right. There is a lot of all these news is very fascinating, but raising questions. We are not standing anywhere compared to research in modern medicine. So this is our where we are lacking behind is in the systematic research. Are we epidemiologists? It is just not included in our syllabus of BHMS and MD. And yet we are ready to face all these super specialists in their own fields. We need to first educate ourselves. We need to come up to that level first. Many patients are asking these questions. So there's a big question. Like I told you, the ethical issue is always there, whether we can actually do it without any fundamental base. See, what has happened is that in homeopathy, we are now used to, I should not use the word, but many of us are doing a lot of fake work, right? It begins right from the college, when students are doing their MD, when they are preparing their theses, 50 to 60% of these theses are not real work. They're all fabricated MD research topics. Even at the PhD level, I see many times that students are actually not working with the patients. And this is the reason why once we get used to doing fake work, we are ready to believe anything which is fake. So these things, unless we change these things, we cannot move ahead. Is our research going into the right direction? We need to think about this. Truth is that we have just begun to take the baby steps out there in a big scientific world. This is very much true. To travel all its bases is a real formidable journey, and everyone has to take. Remember, Dr. Hahnemann was alone, but yet he took this because he was convinced that what work he will do it with the full sincerity, and full sincerity will always yield the best of results. If he would have still been alive, he would have still have taken the next step. So what is the future ahead? Till now, the homeopathic fraternity has been walking a road. Now we have come to a crossroad. There is an uphill travel which involves all the bases of research and erase that stigma. Then there is another way which goes down. If we take the word down without any research behind us, we are going to be labeled as a pseudoscience forever. All these things, if you go to the Google and if you just type in C in the Wikipedia, they call homeopathy a pseudoscience. So these things need to be changed, and we are the people who are going to change it with definite strategy of doing good research. How can we go uphill? COVID-19, in a way, if taken in the right sense, is an opportunity for all of us to think, commit, and act on the lines of the evidence-based medicine which I've just discussed. But COVID and beyond COVID, the homeopaths, homeopathy, and the institutions of the science demand radical changes in the approaches that we are using today at the various levels. So unless we do radical changes, we are still going to be there where we were some time back. And we will easily be going downhill without realizing that we are going downhill. So how can we go uphill? What are the demands? Firstly, homeopaths should develop a collective consciousness of seeing homeopathy and its principles through the light of science, rather than viewing it something that is a miracle, magical, spiritual, divine, abstract, so on, so forth. So unless we move out from this spirituality and linking homeopathy to spirituality and making it more scientific, people are going to throw us out of the window. All our discussions are going to be thrown out of the window. Such viewpoints probably invite only mockery and sidetracks actually its probable potential of this therapeutic system right from the outset. How can we go uphill again? The central authorities, the homeopathic education institutions span India to inculcate and propagate the scientific spirit, involve the researchers, scientists across the various sciences, since only homeopathy cannot undertake fundamental research all on its own. I've already told you that most of our people have studied 2-year courses and 3-year courses, and now the 5-year course and the 3-year postgraduate course, and our education system is not strong enough to make us all research oriented. Put in place the proper research methodology, which we will explore, and scientifically re-establish the principles of homeopathy. How can we go uphill again? Individual level, instilling the spirit to take up research that is genuine. Recently, we had a proposal from the Ayush also. Anybody who wants to undertake genuine research, he can go through all the formalities, through all the ethical committees. He can get registered with the CTRI, and then he can apply for a research proposal. Government is ready to fund you for that. So instilling the spirit to take up the research that is genuine, systematic, adherent to the proper guidelines, start from the grassroots, the MD, the PhD, the faculty level, all these people need to change their mentality. A simple change at the grassroots level is revolutionary change in the homeopathic education. Revamping the entire education in homeopathy, discarding the principles and views which are obsolete, unnecessary, abstract, spiritual base, which does not stand the test of time and science. We need to move ahead. We cannot tie a string, a rope around our neck, put the stake in the past and keep talking about the past. We need to move ahead with modern medicine and with modern science. While a lack of evidence is not a good evidence against empirical therapies, thousands of dubious treatment modalities roam the human domain with a concocted scientific evidence. Whether you agree with the first statement or not, I'm sure it's very difficult to disagree with the second one. Thousands of dubious treatment modalities roam the human domain with concocted scientific evidence. Let's commit to the change this notion about homeopathy today. That would be the ordis appare lived by us in today's times, instead of just remembering it merely as a wonderful statement. Thank you very much for a patient hearing to my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
I hope I was in time. I hope I finished in time.